So you've been a part of this rivalry for a long time. How has it evolved in your time as a player?
Well, when I first started, I think Mexico was pretty dominant. My first game ever with the U.S. was against Mexico, and we won.
It was at the Coliseum.
Correct.
That's right.
A lot of Mexicans there. And I think from that point, we started kind of getting some confidence, and we had a really good group of players there who had played for a long time together. The Claudios and Goose and Pope and Ernie Stewart and McBride. And for a while, we went on a really dominant run where it seemed like they couldn't beat us unless it was at altitude in Azteca. And over the past few years, they've certainly gotten back to what they were. And I think with their youth and the way they're playing, their youth national teams now, I think they've become a very dominant team in the world, and it's a good rivalry now.
Now, I listened to the press conference, I listened to Jurgen basically dodge questions about the rivalry and what it means, and it seems like there's a nice healthy respect from both sides. I want somebody just to say that it's just cyclical. Like, they had our number before maybe the 2002 World Cup. We beat them there, really put a stamp on things, and we had our good run for about 7 years.
Yep.
The 2009 Gold Cup final, they beat us 5-0 in New York. Maybe we didn't have our top team, but it still sent a message, and I don't think we've really overcome that since. And I just think you think it's as simple as it being cyclical? And
I think you're absolutely right. I think before 2002, we couldn't beat them. We went through a stage where we had, like I said, like a lot of continuity, a group of guys that were very comfortable together, knew how to play against them. So no matter where we were, we knew that if we played this way, we could be successful. And they were in a state of flux where they had a lot of different coaches, a lot of different players in and out. And then things have kind of changed. Now we're a little bit more in flux. We have some new guys we're bringing in. A lot of the older generation who kind of knew how to play and beat Mexico is gone. So you have to kind of develop that and learn that again. And they're in a place where they're very strong now. They have the same group of guys come in and play every game. I think they've tactically figured out the best way to play against us. And over the last few years, they've gotten the better of us.
Now we're speaking about the team. How about you individually? What has this rivalry meant to you? And how has it made you a better player in your career?
Well, games like this are very rare for players, and games of this magnitude are very rare. So having these experiences helped me everywhere I go. When I went to Everton, I don't get intimidated playing at Arsenal because I played in Azteca in front of 100,000 people. So
it's all downhill after Azteca.
Right. So it all kind of helps. But for me, it's been I've learned a lot, because when I first started, I didn't realize. Naively, I didn't realize what it means to this country, Mexico, to lose to us. So I ran my mouth a lot, and I said a lot of stupid things, and I was very ignorant, and that caused a lot of probably hatred towards me. And now I'm more aware of what it means. I'm more respectful of the game.
And they seem to have that respect to you in return.
I think so. When I walk around here or in LA or anywhere, I think there is respect. But I was a punk kid, and I said some really stupid things, so it's taught me.
Those were the fun Landon years.
Yeah, I'm sure for you probably. They were fun for me, they were fun for me when we were winning, but otherwise, it's been a good experience for me, and to learn how to be more humble and more respectful, and I think it's better. I think I know now what this is all about.
So, just because Mexico does have that respect for us, I think it's clear that we're competing with them on a more regular basis. You talk about that mentality where it's almost an inferiority complex, because we pretty much dominate in every other sport, but this is their thing.
Yeah.
We're kind of still trying to catch up. Do you think that is still present in them? I mean, does that pass on generation to generation? Or?
I think so. I think what happens is, when it's frustrating, because this has been their world for hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, this is all they know. This is the sport they know. So when we show up and it doesn't mean as much to us in that way,
we still win.
And you still win, I think that bothers them. And that's changing now, because soccer is becoming more prevalent in our sports landscape, and people care more than they ever have before. But for a long time, I think that really frustrated them.
So what do you expect out of this game tomorrow night? It's a friendly, which is different circumstances as opposed to a World Cup qualifier.
Yeah.
It's a good test for our young team, but what do you expect from them coming off an Olympic gold medal, a lot of momentum?
Well, it's a bit of an awkward date, to be honest, because the Mexican teams are just starting. MLS guys are in season, but all the players on both teams that are coming from Europe just aren't fit. And when you come to play in altitude with smog and you have guys that aren't fit, it makes for an interesting, so I think this date is a pretty dumb date to have an international fixture, to be candid. And I think hopefully they'll change that over the years. But all that aside, it's a great opportunity for us. And I think the expectation level is relatively low on our end. We've got a number of guys who have 0 or 1 or 2
we've never
or 3
won here either,
caps,
so that takes the
and you've
pressure
never
off.
won here.
Right.
So that's all part of it. They're going to be excited after what happened with the Olympics, clearly, but they have a bunch of guys too who are sort of in flux or not fit, or so it's going to make it for a kind of an interesting, probably a non-typical U.S.-Mexico game. Might be a little different than you've seen in the past.
I look forward to seeing how you do. Thank you so much for your time, my
Thanks,
friend.
James. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.